Okay. Good morning from me in Ireland, and good afternoon from Dana
Hey, from Dubai. Good
from Dubai.
afternoon.
Hi, everyone. We're here today to talk about life purpose. I'm Holly. I am a female empowerment coach from Ireland. I live in Dubai, but I'm home in Ireland at the moment for 5 weeks. I've extended my leave for another 4 weeks, so I'm going to be home for another 4 weeks, which I'm really happy about. Dana and I have both just qualified as master NLP practitioners, so we're both really excited about that. I'm just going to pass you over to my guest, Dana. She is a meditation coach and an art therapy coach. Welcome, Dana.
Hey, so good to be here. So good to talk to you. And you know how we are both passionate about the subject of purpose.
So passionate. It's a perfect topic for us.
Yeah, for us, exactly. When we had our session, you remember? The purpose session. That was so powerful.
Yes, it was amazing. I was the coachee and you were the coach.
Yeah, was it the purpose one? I think
Yeah, the
the
purpose one,
coaching.
you were my coach and you were coaching me through my life purpose.
Whoa, that was so good.
It was. It was powerful. I was
Yeah,
already there.
the
I was kind of telling you how I got there, what was behind it, what were my values and everything. And for those
should we
people who,
rehash it right now?
sorry,
Should we rehash it right now so people will know?
my purpose?
Yep, let's do that.
Okay.
What's your purpose, Holly?
My purpose is to inspire people to reach their full potential. The only way I can reach my full potential is by helping others help themselves reach theirs. Tongue twister, but that's it.
We love them. What was the other one? Your flaws are flawless. Then there is one more. I value. If you want to add value, add. No, what was it?
Oh, you mean my post this last couple of weeks on my page?
Yeah.
Oh,
Your tongue twisters, I
just
love them.
affirmations. I got stuck on affirmations, so I did like, I am my own validation. My flaws are flawless, and then yesterday, I did another one yesterday. I can't remember now, but yeah, I'm in this.
Make an impact to make an impact. Was it?
Oh yeah, that's what I told you myself.
And then there was like effort. What was the about effort? There was one about effort.
Oh, make an effort to make an effort.
There you go.
And yesterday's one I just remembered was I don't need anyone to believe in me. I believe in me. I thought
Yeah,
that one might help a lot of women and people who are following me to believe in themselves.
yep, the validation, right? And a lot of people do follow you, and I see the comments, and they are really grateful for what you do. How does it feel? How does it feel for you now?
Well, I mean, the content part of it, I really enjoy. I enjoy putting things together, being creative, not only in the post, but you know, like the caption section. So I spend so much time putting it together. It's my absolute passion. So when people engage, it's great. It just makes it so much more worthwhile for me to have people engage, because then I know obviously that it resonates with them, and yeah, and then it just keeps me going and keeps me motivated to keep creating content.
Well, not only that, the process itself is so much fun for you, isn't it? I remember we did the modeling project together about that. And when I was asking you, how do you do it? Like, how did you start? And you were like, because it's so much fun and I get to be myself. I get to enjoy, like, just things that I'm truly curious about, passionate about, and I just enjoy it myself, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like my little space, and then I just get so much enjoyment out of putting everything together, and then I have another idea or another. I have this little book that I carry around with me. I haven't got it here with me now. The one I showed you.
I know the fellow
Yeah,
book collectors, notebook collectors.
yeah,
I, I,
exactly,
I I show
right?
my collection. let's show my collection, and then you'll show your collection.
Okay. Oh, I don't have mine up with me. It's on the other side of the house.
Okay, so it's on top of my closet. So just hold on to your hats, right? There you go.
Oh, wow, you have a lot. I only have 2.
I'll show you my favorite one. This is the day-to-day one. It's what you call it? Handmade. This is my second, my surname, Sunatullah, Book of Dreams.
Oh my gosh, I can imagine there's just so many inspiring words.
This is my session pad. Teaching is a work of heart. Oh, this is my favorite one. So this is a book, but notebook. I bought it in Kinokuniya. Q&A for the soul. 365 questions, 5 years, 1,825 answers. Let me do one example. Okay, so let's open 20th of May. Do you allow uncertainty? Then May 21st is, if you had a moment to daydream, what would take place in the opening act?
I love things like this.
Just nerdiest of nerds, collecting the notebooks.
I see these on the computer. I love them. Because then I have ideas, then I can just put them in the book.
Yeah, and you know what? Marie Kondoed it. Marie Kondoed it in the start of quarantine. I had, my God, I'm a hoarder of notebooks. It's a problem. I need your help, Holly. So this was an intervention to do that.
I'm gonna just keep encouraging this. I'm not gonna help you stop.
Exactly, right? I love it. It's so much fun. And also like when you write down things, it's so powerful, isn't it? So like you told me that in the modeling that you write down your ideas, but then you just leave them. And in the morning you wake up, and then if you have a new idea, you manifest the new idea into the video or stories or posts, or you just open your notebook that is already full of ideas and just full
like yours.
of, yeah, right? So tell me the process, just the whole process of you finding the exact post for the day, like the idea that you decide to put for today's post. How does the decision come for you?
For me, it's well, I have a color palette, so I know the color that it's going to be because I do like a block of 15 colors for 15 posts. So when I get the color in my mind, and then I know people are really good at planning out their posts and they plan everything meticulously. I don't do that. I just go with the flow with my idea on the day. Like I just literally wake up and I think, what would inspire someone today? And then I just come up with an idea, or I look in that little book and then I'll find a quote that I've written down somewhere. And then I'll try and figure out a font and be creative with how I want it to look. And then I'll just add in little graphics and just put it all together. It's a whole process. And then the writing bit's the same. On the day, I just come up with, I go through the book, and things that I've maybe wrote months ago will crop up and I'll be like, yeah, I'll put that in today. That might be a little inspiring for someone. And it just goes like that. That's how I do it. I don't plan it as such.
Yeah, you know what? We got into specifics too fast, right? The specifics of purpose, how we're manifesting it every day, right? How we're writing the post, how we are, deciding the post. Wait, let's back up a little and let's tell me, how did you find your purpose? How did you come to know that your purpose is to inspire people? How did you come to know that your purpose is to be your true self and, to flow the inspiration that you have day to day, right? But it doesn't come that way right away. Well, it didn't in my case.
Hmm.
So how did you get to know that, you know, inspiring day to day, being the woman empowerment coach, being an NLP coach, being, you know, the inspiration that you are? How did you decide that that's what you need to do, that's what you have to do, that's what you like to do, and that it is your purpose? Because it doesn't come right away. You just don't wake up in the morning and you decide, oh, I'm an inspirational coach. You know, people should learn from me how to live.
I
You
know.
know? I know everything, and I know solutions for each and every problem in the whole world.
Well, yeah, it was a massive journey for me, because about 5 years ago from today, I started getting repetitive number sequences sent to me. And then I would
Wait a
always have
second, my
these little,
spiritual, sorry, I'll be interrupting you. I'm the most talkative person in the whole world, so that's
fine.
your fault inviting me to this, you know, video. So, okay, uh, the 5 years ago was my spiritual awakening as well. So,
Oh,
how weird
really?
is that? How weird is that?
We get along, right?
Exactly, right? It's just goosebumps all over, all the time when we talk.
So, do you want me to start with me, or shall we go into yours a little bit whenever yours started?
No, 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 no. You start. I was just, you know, I was just throwing you off from your thought process just to make it fun.
Okay, so I noticed repetitive number sequences cropping up in my life. Everywhere I went, I would get this number 1717. I would get it in receipts. Just everywhere I looked, this number was cropping up, to the point where I started taking pictures of it, because I thought, this is so bizarre. I just keep getting sent this specific number, 1717. And then I got curious and I looked up, and it was an angel number that suggested that my life purpose was to inspire people, and it had a whole big explanation of why I was sent this number, which I chose to ignore at the time. And then I started doing the writing in these little notebooks, and I didn't really know what the purpose was of the writing at the time, but now it's kind of all come together as time's gone on. So I was writing all these quotes down. I didn't really know where I was getting them from or why I was writing them down. And then, yeah, and my previous job was working with women as a project worker in this rehab unit in Glasgow.
Yeah, tell me more about that. Where in Glasgow, right? So in Scotland.
Yes.
How did you end up in Scotland? In Scotland, you're from Ireland, aren't you?
Yeah. So I went to university in Scotland, so that's why I was in Glasgow, and I lived there for, I think I was in Scotland for 6 years before I came to Dubai.
Was it
Maybe a
fun?
little bit longer. Hmm.
Was it fun? Did you like Glasgow?
Oh my goodness. I absolutely loved Glasgow. I have met lifelong friends there. It is one of the best cities in the world. It is amazing. I loved Glasgow. I had some of the best years of my life in that place. Scotland in general.
I heard that. I heard that Scotland is so beautiful. Lucky you got to live there for years, right? To study.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I did that as my previous job. I worked in this refuge unit for female offenders who had needed crisis addiction support. So that was my previous
Right,
role.
right after the university. You just
Mm,
went into the refuge center for women that were abused in their, you know, life, right?
yes, yes, that was my very
How was
first ever
that?
job. It was very challenging. It's the kind of environment that you'll either sink or swim, because everyone is in survival mode. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. Oh my gosh, I always had this calling to come back to it. So I always knew in my heart, even though I ended up going massively off track and going to Dubai, that I didn't know exactly what I would do, but I knew that my heart felt happy, or just it felt like, just felt right when I was helping people help themselves. So I always knew, even before I started getting sent the numbers, that my life purpose was something to do with helping people.
Helping people to help themselves. Write down, everyone.
Take
You
notes.
need this.
I try to
To
put
help
my
people help themselves. So cute. Okay.
yeah, so there was that, and then yeah, and then I was feeling very soul destroyed in my job. For those of who don't know, I've been cabin crew with Emirates for the last 9 years, and as
Dubai
fortunate
in United Emirates.
yeah, so as fortunate as I have been to have had that opportunity, the last couple of years have been such a struggle for me. I mean, there's been times when I'm just so exhausted that, months just passed me by and all I was doing was working. I was feeling really drained, mentally and physically exhausted from all the jet lag. And there was
And
one,
also that was the time when you were receiving the signs, right?
yeah, then I would just keep getting sent 1717. Even sometimes I go check in for a flight and the actual flight gate number would be 1717. And
Wait, and how did you like dismiss those at
I
first?
just,
Because we all do, right? That's our logical brain kicking in, saying, well, it's just numbers. It doesn't mean anything, right?
yeah, well, I just did. I knew that it meant something, but then I just kept holding back and just kept ignoring it and just sort of, yeah, whatever. Maybe it is just a coincidence, and kind of talking myself out of it. Um, and yeah, and then as time went on, then I slowly came to just come to terms with that I'm going to have to make some sort of shift in my life. Like, do I keep doing this job, which is soul destroying for me? There was a tipping point in January where I was between flights and I was so exhausted that I was, it's not even emotional tears, it's just like crying with exhaustion. So I
Oh
knew
my
there a
God.
change, like I was at tipping point and I needed to change. So
And so you were in Emirates, you were a cabin crew, which is a very hard job in and of itself. Also, you're going through a spiritual awakening at the same time. Also, you are in a very transitional point in your life, a tipping point in your life, right? How did you handle it? Because that's the place where we crumble. It's very difficult because spiritual awakening, people think that it's, one day you're sitting there and just there is what you call it, the thunder, thunder just sparks in your head, and then you're just like, ooh, life is good. People think that it's so easy, or it's like it's some kind of psychosis, but it is actually when you are in the bottom and you are truly knocking on the, below door, when you are truly so close to the bottom line, to the rock bottom, that then only there is some kind of, turnaround, right? So how did you handle all that, when it was so low, so the below of your expectation of your life, and that it was a transitional point? How did you know that?
I think I resisted it for a long, long time. I knew that I had a purpose. I wasn't exactly sure what that was for a long, long time. And in a way, I knew that if I did embrace it, I was going to have to make massive change. And that was scary for me.
And as
So
you kept resisting it, it kept persisting.
resisting, and then it would just keep coming back, and I would just keep feeling so, so drained. So for a lot of people who are maybe watching this right now, if I'm sure you agree with me, so if you're feeling completely exhausted and drained by your job, it doesn't sit right in your heart. So it's not the job for you. You're not living your purpose. If you feel exhausted, you shouldn't feel exhausted when you're living your purpose. You feel light and purposeful and excited, and every day you feel like you've got something new to offer.
How did you come to it? Now you are that. Now you do shine with so bright with your purpose, and everyone can feel it. It's like it's just coming through the camera, coming through the lenses. It just, yeah, you're just shining so
Oh,
bright
yeah.
and so beautifully and so inspirational. So how did you come to that?
Well, I didn't even know what a spiritual awakening was until a couple of years ago. I was just waking up and having these visions and things. And yeah, so I went through that whole process. And then that kind of shook me and woke me up. And then I really, after that, had a real sense of purpose. I thought, do you know what? It's time now. And I embraced all the messages. And then as soon as I sort of accepted that I had a purpose and this job was something which it was going to just be temporary from then on in, it was coming to an end, like I was at the end of that cycle, everything just started to line up really well and opportunities started coming my way. I got introduced to NLP. I started doing my female empowerment coaching to the women in Africa, in South Africa. And yeah, and since then it's just been a flow and it's been easy because I haven't been resisting anymore.
Amazing. So one more question about that. People think that purpose is something that is pre-written, something that is fated to you, something that is destined on you, something that is forced on you. How do you feel about that? How was your experience with that?
I don't think it's forced on you. I believe that everybody has a purpose. Maybe they're not aware of what their purpose is just yet, and they need some help and guidance into getting there. So everyone on this earth is gifted. Everyone has their gift to share or gifts to share. It's just a matter of waking up and taking ownership of your gifts and sharing them freely with the world. So
let's say, okay, I'm working as actually I have my own company. Let's say I started a business, a cleaning business, right? I have clients, I have maids, I have employees under my wing, and one day I feel that I'm burned out, that this business doesn't align with me, with my values, right? And I am truly, falling down that path where I am like, is this useful? It's useless. It's not worth it. Also, like, yes, people do benefit from cleaning their apartment, to outsource that. But at the same time, I feel like it's not my path. There are people who are passionate about it, but I don't feel like I am. What would you recommend to me?
Well, first of all, I would say if it doesn't sit right with you, it sits wrong with you. So if something doesn't sit right with you, it's not right, it's wrong. And you hear people always saying that all the time, like, it doesn't sit right with me, or it just didn't feel right for me, or things like that, all these little throwaway phrases, but they have meaning.
So it has to be my own choosing. It has to be my opinion, isn't it? Like, it has to be my own choice to decide that, oh, this doesn't fulfill me anymore, right?
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's about listening to your heart and listening to your intuition about your passion, because for some people that could be their passion and they would feel fulfilled doing those sort of roles. So it's just finding the right fit for you. What's right for you? Where are you going to offer the most value with your gifts?
Yeah. How did you start doing that then?
So I started slowly. I wasn't fully committed to my Inspired by Holly page initially because I didn't really know where I was going with it. And I was at that lost phase where a lot of people are stuck. And that's why I'm so thankful for NLP, because now, as a result of all the techniques, I can help people help themselves get there by looking at their values and supporting them through what their core values are and trying to find their purpose through their core values and matching it with those. Yeah, so that's pretty much all from me. I want to hear more about you. We've not spoke about you much. Tell me about your journey. How did you find your purpose?
It was a long journey. From 5 years ago, as I said, our spiritual awakening happened in the same day, and so not same day, same year.
Same exact moment.
Exactly. So yeah, and mine happens through this channeler, but they don't like to be called channeler, is Esther Hicks. So the channel that she brings them through called Abraham. And I have been, I was born Muslim, so my faith was decided for me before I came into this world. And I followed, Islam till I was, I think, 20, 21. Right now, I accept it fully. I love the religion. I love the message that it brings through. But when I went through my teenage years and I saw a lot of, like Abraham says, it's contrast, but a lot of, not so good things in life, family life, parents, and people in the world even. And I didn't understand. I didn't understand why there is so much suffering, so much struggle, so much poverty, so much anger in the world, and depression. And also in my country, I was born when they just got their independence, same year, 1991, Kazakhstan got their independence. So it was a huge transitional point for my country too, which meant we were in extreme poverty, and the whole country. There was no gas, no electricity, nothing, So, growing up like that, when you are a little person, a little child, you don't understand that you're poor. You don't understand that you're in poverty because everyone around you is as well, and it's just normal for you. It's a normality. It is what it is. But then when I was a teenager, the internet came out, right? And everyone started connecting to the internet. And when I started seeing the world like through the internet, I started seeing, how Americans live, how Europeans live, how, Australians live. I could see everything in the whole world. And I started questioning, what's happening? Why is it like that? And I started feeling so insecure about myself. I started feeling so inferior compared to other 7 billion people, because not only the country that I was born in is in poverty, but also my family is as well. And in poverty, the struggle thrives, and depression, anxiety thrives in poverty. So, when I saw all of that around me, I started just pummeling down into atheism. I was like, no, if God existed, and if all these religious scholars and philosophers are saying that it's a loving God, then no, I don't believe it. Loving God wouldn't put through people. Loving God wouldn't put people through this much suffering. And I studied political science in the university, in the actually best university in Kazakhstan. I got a scholarship there because my parents are teachers, so I had to study, very hard. So I studied for political science, and that brought me even more anxiety.
Mm-hmm. And were the people that you studied with, were they open-minded? Were they open to talking about these topics, or was this just something?
No, Kazakhstan is the democracy on paper, but just on paper. So all the information is filtered, and you don't really know what's really happening. But because you see everything, and especially you study the policies and political, regimes and political systems, you start seeing the patterns, and that just put me straight into depression. And I was depressed for a while. Then
what age were you then, sorry?
Oh,
what age were you at this point? 19, 20?
I am, yes, 20, around 19, 20. And as corny and cheesy as it sounds, first thing that I stumbled upon during my depression. Oh, by the way, therapy doesn't exist in Kazakhstan at that point, right? It's 2012, 2011,
It
2012.
didn't exist?
Is non-existent. Like people know what therapy is, but it's not popular at all. And if you go to a therapist, you belong in the asylum, and that's it. And you should be put in the restraining suit, and that's it. That's the definition of therapy in Kazakhstan. So I started. I think I started with Secret, the movie. You create your own reality, you attract what you emit, all of that. I started with that. That gave me a lot of hope. Because I was in the middle of depression, I needed some fairy tale to believe in, really. And I was like, okay, maybe, but still doubtful, right? Because I am depressed and I am very disempowered, powerless. I didn't feel any power within me. I was like, I don't have any power. All the power belongs to my government, which steals. All the power belongs to America and Europe, because they are the, powerful countries in the world. All the power belongs to Russia because they owned us, literally. And so I was just a little human, a little girl, nonetheless, in a patriarchal country, where I was raised in a tradition where women can't raise a voice, women can't laugh out loud, women doesn't have an opinion, and if she has to be very soft and gentle about it. She can't shine bright. If she does, she is asking for attention, which means she might be raped or kidnapped. And so in that society, you are shut, you are, your mouth is, you are just, I should be just quiet. And in that quiet, I was just dying slowly, right? And turning into ashes, because I wasn't born that way. I was always very bright, talkative, very forceful, very stubborn, and I always had my opinions. So when I disallowed that to myself, I started slowly dying within myself, and that was the depression. So
but it sounds to me like you were quiet, but at the same time you were quietly finding yourself a little bit at that point.
Exactly, because there is so much anger within me, and that's strength. Especially from depression, anger is a perfect point to get out. So then through anger and through these movies and books that I started reading and watching, after Secret, I started reading some self-help books. After self-help books, I watched Eat, Pray, Love, Julia Roberts, and I think Elizabeth Gilbert, the person who wrote the book, is genius, just pure genius. I believe she is just the most bright human being I've ever stumbled upon. So, and not in person. I don't think she knows I exist. So I watched the movie, and just after the movie, I got out of the cinema, and I was stunned, just stunned. I was like, what's happening? Something truly shifted within me. And I think that was just that everything is possible. No matter where you're from, no matter where you live, no matter who you are, no matter your gender, race, religion, anything, that you're just a human, and every human just wants to feel good. Every human has only one desire, and that's to feel good. And then the hunt began. I started searching.
Yeah, so how did that go? Tell me about that. This is the exciting part.
I know. So I started searching for everything that would make me feel good. Everything. I started thinking, okay, if I graduate this university, what I want to do with my life? I don't want to go marry, because I don't want to get married, because that's usually the avenue that girls have to take. And if you don't, you will be too old to get married. Nobody will want you. And I was like, no, I don't want to get married. Well, who will want to marry me? That's first of all.
Oh.
No, there were, but like I was, in my insecurities, in disempowerment. So, the distortion, what you call it? Dysmorphia. So there was a dysmorphia about, how I view myself. And I was just on the hunt. I was like, what would make me feel better? What would make me feel good? And there was this guy in my small city. I graduated the university. I returned to my small city with my parents, and just for the summer to figure out what I'm going to do next. And there was this guy. He was teaching meditation in this small city in Kazakhstan. Just a guy just started teaching meditation, and I was like, what a miracle, and I read about meditation before that, and I just started going there. He had groups, and I just started going to those groups, and that was my first meditation and my first spiritual awakening. I had in stages, by the way. So that was my first. I think first one was Eat, Pray, Love. Let's say this one is second. So the second one.
Sweet.
Second one was during the meditation. So the guy said all the things that you don't have to think about anything, just quiet your mind, just stand there. It was a standing meditation. Just stand there and if thoughts are coming, just let them flow. And the only rule is you don't eat for 45 minutes. So I was like, yeah, okay. And then I stand there. Yeah, and I stand there. And first the thoughts fly through my head, right? The whole bunch of them. And I saw that in Eat, Pray, Love, how she started meditating. She was constructing her kitchen in her first meditation. I was like,
I can't even remember this movie now. It's so long since I've seen it.
have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it, but it's been so long. Like I remember the main bits of it, but this I can't remember.
Well, I've seen it only twice. I remember it because it had such an impact on me. That's why, right? It's the emotional response that was within me to the movie that made me remember each and every bit and each and every dialogue. So anyway, I was in the middle. I started meditating. These thoughts are flooding through, and I remembered. Oh, okay. Julia Roberts, when she was meditating, she had the same thing, which means Elizabeth Gilbert had. So it's okay. This is fine. And then I just stand there. And then the meditation ends. I'm just numb. I don't feel anything. Meditation ends. I was just fighting through the thoughts, and it ends. And I go there a couple of more times to that meditation book. And then I think the fourth one, something, I can't explain it. Something forced through me in the middle of the meditation. Energetically, it felt like just light blew itself out within me. And it blew out. I start feeling the goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
And I start crying, just bawling, just so much relief, because it's so much love coming through. It's just someone that is so loving is hugging you and just standing there hugging you. And you are like, but I'm that good. I had anger issues. I hurt people. Still loving you. But no, I'm not good. I'm stubborn. I'm even though I'm a girl, I'm loud and I'm stubborn. Still hugging you. But I don't like Islam. I don't like religion. Still hugging you, loving you and hugging you. And I just didn't have a choice. I just surrendered. I was like,
So you didn't
okay.
even though you didn't really know the ultimate purpose of this whole experience was for you to become
I have
a
zero
meditation
idea what's
teacher.
happening. But on some weird level, it makes sense. On some deep, 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 deep level, it makes sense.
Even in that moment.
Exactly.
Now it's obviously, it makes complete sense. But even in that moment, you still made sense of it to a degree. You knew that this was the beginning of something new.
I didn't.
Oh,
So
even
I just
then.
meditated. Yes, I just meditated, right? And
Kind of like me with the 17, you just kind of didn't really fully embrace it. You didn't really know. You just kept going, kind of thing.
because the guy that was teaching us how to meditate, he just said, allow anything. Nothing bad is going to happen. Your body knows how to protect itself. Nothing bad is going to happen. Just stay there. Allow anything and everything that's coming through, because that's your, true energy. That's your true self. So yeah, so it was still hugging me, right? I didn't have any other excuse anymore not to be loved. I couldn't make this energy not love me. And I was fighting for it. I was like, no, don't love me. I'm not worth it. But this energy is still hugging me. I don't understand, like, I don't know what to do. So I just had to surrender. And I was like, okay, you can. And it just, I can't like express the feeling fully, but it felt like each and every cell in my body started filling in with liquidy love. Yeah, that's it. And I just stood there, just breathing in and breathing out love. That's it, nothing else. Just love, just pure love. And I was like, okay, the meditation finished. I'm cried out. I have 0 tears in my body. Like 0, like no liquid left in my body.
Nothing.
I cried so much. But I'm smiling from ear to ear. And just the guy was like, good, right? And I'm like, what good?
What happened to me?
This is going to happen. Why did you, like, how can you hide this? You should advertise this everywhere. Everyone is fighting for this feeling. Everyone wants to feel good. Everyone wants to feel loved. Everyone wants to feel worthy. Why are you hiding in this, 2-bedroom apartment? And just, why? And he's like, because people will come to their truth when they are ready, wherever it is and whenever it is. Elizabeth Gilbert found it when she was 33, I think, going to India. And I found it in my small city in the south of Kazakhstan, in a 2-bedroom apartment with this guy that I have 0 idea about.
And what age were you then?
Huh?
What age were you at that point? That's
22.
Wow, Dana, that's amazing.
Exactly. So then I just started searching internships in America because I wanted to go to America because all the spiritual leaders are in America. All the writers of all the spiritual and self-help books are in America. All of this is in America. I have to get to America. Nobody will understand me in Kazakhstan. I have to go to America.
And
So
what about your parents? Did you tell them about this experience?
No, they just know that I finished university. I am, not depressed anymore. I just started smiling all of a sudden. So they just know that. That's it. And also it's a patriarchal country. So like girls are not allowed to go anywhere. So, but I hid from them everything. I just started looking for agencies that can, find me a job in America, or any like study in America, anything, like any avenue that I can find to go to America. I found an agency. I started communicating with them, and they said, right now you are not qualified for, America, to work in America, and right now it's difficult to get visa and all that. But we have a job in Dubai, and I was like, oh, what the hell? At least not Kazakhstan. Maybe there are American people in Dubai. Mind you, my English is, hi, how are you? I don't know
any
anything
English.
else. Zero. Literally zero. The music that I was listening to, Beyonce, albums, there was Alicia Keys, B2K, Alia, who was there? Whitney Houston, Tina Turner. All the music that I was listening to, I used to hum the melody, and I used to make up words. And I had zero idea what they're singing about. Like zero. Now when I listen to those music, I'm like, oh my God, the Genuine Pony, the song Pony. I was singing it when I was 12. My pony.
What were your words? Are the words you thought the song was about?
I had zero idea. I was 12. I was singing this song. And now when I listen to it, oh my God, it's so sexual. Oh, that was so funny when I realized it. So anyway,
tell me about your journey when you came to Dubai then. So what did you come to Dubai to do? What was the role?
Hotel.
Okay.
I had to be a receptionist with zero language skills.
Wow, I'm surprised you got the job, to be honest.
I know, because I had the questions beforehand, and I started Googling all the answers in English, and I just memorized that, and I just answered the questions with those Google
Googled it.
answers. I'm 100% sure I sounded like a robot from 80s. So So anyway, they hired me by some miracle, because miracles happen. Because nothing is impossible. My desire was so strong that I just, willed it into being. So, so I came to Dubai. I started learning English. I worked in the hotel. Then I found a job in a Tommy Hilfiger shop, because my English was better now, so I could work in the shop. So I moved into Marina, and during all that time, I was meditating and reading all the self-help books, doing all the exercises that they suggest. And I stumbled upon Abraham as well, Abraham Hicks. The Esther Hicks, she channels this entity, this infinite intelligent beings called Abraham. They call themselves Abraham, and they refer to themselves as we, psychosis, right? But what to do, the information's so good, I had to overlook that, So they taught me that I am loving, I am worthy, I am kind, I deserve anything in the world. I deserve to be, happy and joyful. And I deserve to inspire people. So that was my third spiritual awakening. And that was my last. And after that, I just studied and studied and studied, and started one by one working with people. And then I started doing the meditation with groups. Teaching people how to meditate, and teaching people how to find that space within themselves where they are fully loved, accepted, and embraced. So yeah, and that's what I have been doing for 5 years now, and I fully accept it as my purpose, that I found it myself. I searched for it for a long time, found it, because I'm stubborn, and I know what I know, and I know what I want to know, So yeah, it was very deliberate.
With purpose, sometimes I think it's you don't need to find it; it kind of finds you, in a weird way.
Yeah, it's always a cooperation though.
Yeah, it's being open to it and accepting.
Always cooperation. And also my belief is that before coming into this world, you somehow construct generically, you construct what you want to live. You generically construct what kind of human you want to be. And you generically construct, your purpose as well. Generically though, all the specifics you fill in, throughout life. And that's the fun part.
Once you follow your purpose. So for people who are watching this, what advice would you give them for if they're feeling that lost way that both of us were feeling initially, and they don't have a sense of purpose, or at least they can't see themselves as having one? What piece of advice would you give them having found your purpose?
Hold on. Take it easy. Take it easy on yourself. Nothing is wrong with you. Nothing has gone wrong. Just find courage just to be soft on yourself, to be gentle with yourself. I know it's difficult, but you can do it.
That's inspiring. Words of wisdom.
Because it's easier to hate yourself because you've been taught to do that from the day you were born.
Conditioning and
yes,
programming.
And it's so difficult to love yourself.
And you are your own validation, our favorite one.
Yes. But you come to it when you truly accept you, right? At that time, you have the power to validate you. But if you don't accept yourself, you'll be looking at other people saying, do you love me? Do you love me? Can I be loved? Please, please, can I be loved? I'm okay. I'm trying here. Please love me.
Yeah, and what I teach the women in my empowerment classes is what you crave, you lack. So if you crave love, then start with yourself. If you crave friendship, start with yourself. Everything starts with self. And then it starts to open up everything else once you start everything with self, questioning self about everything.
Yeah, exactly. Everything is within us. Everything we want is within us. Out there, everything is just for our fun and enjoyment, for inspiration, but just to evolve more, to create more, to grow more. But what we need, the basics, are always within, and you can't find it anywhere else. Even parents can't give it to you.
It's a journey of self, right?
Yes.
And
that's
you
the beautiful part of it. Oh?
And watching you evolve is amazing from the sidelines. Like your meditation group started small and now they're growing and growing as you're growing.
Yeah, it is. I realized that through, NLP course, through working with you as well, we had a session about that too, where I realized that if I have something to offer, there will be people to receive it. Just present yourself and people will find you.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to see, after a while, they will seek you out in a weird way.
Yeah. Weird coincidences, weird, just,
kind of like you find your calling and then you call the people into you who need your help.
Yeah. And it happens so easy, so naturally, so, natural.
Yeah, it's not difficult. The initial stage is difficult, that whole lost phase, feeling like a lost soul. You don't know what your purpose is in life. You don't know where you're going. But once you get that sense of direction, Life
Yeah.
is so fulfilling. Everything feels purposeful. You know, you get out of bed in the morning and you're excited for the day, as opposed to just going through the motions to get through the weeks, to get through
Yeah.
the next paycheck.
Yeah.
You've got something more.
Exactly. 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 Fulfillment.
Yeah, and you're offering your value, and that is so valuable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we've covered everything. Do you?
Yes, we did. We did. It was so beautiful. So much fun. We had so much fun.
No, it's my second one of these. Well, we had a bit of trouble getting onto the Instagram
Yeah.
live. So here we
And
are.
it's good, I think, that we did this one because it's more flexible and more even comfortable. I think this was it had to happen in here.
Well, yeah, I enjoyed it. It was kind of like a conversation that I would have with you normally on Zoom, except I'm
I
aware of the fact.
know. We should do this again.
Okay, well, thank you so much for
Thank you,
being
Molly.
and inspiring me so much, as I'm sure a lot of other people will feel inspired by your story.
Oh, a lot of people will feel inspired by your story too. And that's why we did this, right?
Yeah,
So, yeah, and I'm grateful. I'm just grateful.
and keep continuing your absolutely amazing, inspiring work.
Oh, you too. Bye.